Hey everyone, welcome back. I have yet another D23 video for you because trying to consume, analyze, and break down all of the D23 Disney Parks news has kind of been like drinking out of a fire hose. And I've been wanting to tackle all of the park announcements as a whole, but the question I've been wrestling with is how to do it. So here's what I've settled on. To be a little different and to make all of the content a bit more digestible, I'm going to rank all of the D23 Disney Park announcements, but only those related to the stateside Disney parks with the exception of Disney Cruise Line. And that's not to say I'm not interested in the international parks. I absolutely am, and I'm extremely jealous of their two Spider-Man rides, for instance, but I can't speak on those parks with any expertise or authority, so I'm just going to stick to what I know. So filtering out the international parks, I have a whopping 18 announcements to rank from the least intriguing or valuable, in my opinion, of course, to the upcoming edition that I think is the most exciting with the most to offer. So let's get to it, beginning with number 18, which on my list is going to be the Spaceship Earth and Pirates of the Caribbean lounges. This is at the bottom for me because they're not rides, they're not lands, and in my mind, a lounge means small. And I don't really like the idea of a lounge taking up valuable theme park real estate. I'm probably still bitter over Disney transforming the writer's stop at Hollywood Studios to the Baseline Tap House, but I'm also not a big fan of Disney catering just to Disney adults with themed drinks. I think it's a little short-sighted in terms of strategy, and that restaurants would be a better way to go because it would hit every demographic. So that's just my opinion on those. I am, however, on board with the theming in detail that I'm seeing in this Pirates of the Caribbean lounge concept art. And as for the Spaceship Earth lounge, all I can say is that once again, Imagineering isn't done with Epcot after all. Number 17 is going to be Test Track. I have to confess, the Horizons Showcase did little to build my confidence in this project. I'm glad to hear it's still opening in 2025. That tells me it's on schedule, but we didn't get any new concept art. And the description of what to expect really wasn't clear. I still don't quite know what we're getting with this new version of the attraction. I'm looking forward to whatever it's going to be, but I'm not as excited as I was before D23. Number 16 is Disneyland's Tiana's Bio Adventure opening date and the rename of Critter Country to Bayou Country. I'm only ranking this one this low on my rankings because we already have Tiana's at Disney World. We kind of know what to expect. However, we should be aware that Disneyland's Tiana's is going to be a little bit different than Disney World's, just a little heads up on that. Critter Country being renamed is interesting to me, but it's not really that surprising. We kind of knew that was going to happen anyway, and I'm looking forward to getting more information on that. Number 15 is the Mandalorian and Grogu addition to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run at Galaxy's Edge. This addition to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run will not debut until the movie arrives in theaters in 2026. And just like it sounds, we're getting Mando and Grogu in a mission. I love the idea, but I would love it way more if it was coming sooner and if Lucasfilm and Disney were willing to do more than just this. I'm also a little concerned because the Millennium Falcon hasn't been in The Mandalorian on Disney+, so unless this means the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy is going to be in the movie, I'm afraid it may be a bit shoehorned, and I'm concerned about the quality as the current missions video doesn't really look that great. So this has potential to go up in my rankings, but this is where it is for right now. Number 14 is Stark Flight Lab at Avengers Campus. This was a total surprise. We knew we were going to get Infinity Defense at Avengers Campus. We did not know about this one. But Stark Flight Lab is where guests are going to ride in two-person pods attached to a robot arm that's going to simulate flight. It's very on theme with Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. is reprising his role as Tony Stark, which is awesome. And the building itself looks really cool. It's either open air or glass or both, and I love kind of how it's going to add to the feel and the atmosphere of Avengers Campus. Number 13 is Zootopia Better Zoogether, coming to Animal Kingdom's Tree of Life Theater. I'm not the biggest Zootopia fan, I admit, but it's tough to be a bug needed to be exterminated years ago. And from what I've heard about the show, it has my attention. This really could be great. And I love the idea that we're going to visit different biomes from the film. And I'm curious to see how they're going to use the interactive theater along with that concept. And the poster looks pretty great too. This will open winter 2025. Number 12 in my rankings is Disneyland's Coco Ride. This is another surprise we got at D23. I think everyone thought that Epcot's Mexico Pavilion would get a Coco Ride before Disneyland, but again, this is a absolutely pleasant surprise. What we know is that it's going to be a boat ride, and it's going to be a journey to the land of the dead, and Imagineering is drawing upon classic attractions like Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean for this one. Josh D'Amaro also hyped up the use of the latest audio animatronic tech to appear in ways we won't believe. So I'm predicting now we're going to get some pretty awesome transformation sequences with animatronics. So I'm all in because boats, audio animatronics, it's classic, it's Disney. D'Amaro also noted this is coming to Disney California Adventure. We don't know just where that's going to be yet, but we may have to wait a little bit longer to find out as work isn't supposed to begin until 2026. Number 11 is Disney Starlight. This is an all-new nighttime parade for the Magic Kingdom. I believe it's been 2 years, if not more, since the Magic Kingdom has had a nighttime parade, so it is long overdue. This is coming next summer, so relatively soon, and all we know at the moment is it's going to be brought to life by the magic of the Blue Fairy, which I love because we're relying on a classic Disney character. However, current characters are also going to be featured in the parade, including characters from Frozen and Encanto. Number 10 is the Walt Disney audio animatronic for Walt Disney A Magical Life. This is coming to Disneyland in 2025 and just in time for the 70th anniversary, and it's going to be what it would be like if you were to stop by Walt Disney's office. It will be located inside the Main Street Opera House, and after its initial run, it will play in rotation with great moments of Mr. Lincoln. And so that's important to note. It's not replacing great moments. It's going to be eventually in rotation with great moments. Disney treated this announcement very delicately, and rightly so. They also noted that Walt's great-nephew, Roy P. Disney, visited Imagineering and seemingly signed off on the project. So I do think threading the needle on this is going to be difficult because it needs to be perfect. It needs to be lifelike, but yet not uncanny valley. And again, it can't be a gimmick. So we'll see how they do, but this has the potential to really go up my rankings very, very quickly, but I need to see more. But yeah, this was one of the more interesting announcements, and I have a lot of questions, but I'm also, again, very intrigued. Number 9, another shocking announcement, new Disney Cruise Line ships. So adding to Disney Cruise Line's fleet of 5 ships right now and 4 that are on the way are 4 more ships set to arrive between 2027 and 2031. I would actually rank this higher in my list if we knew where they were sailing, because if they're concentrated only on the Asian market, some of us will never get to see them or experience them. However, I really like the direction Disney Cruise Line has been going. There is a lot of creativity that is being put into these ships, a lot of different and new experiences. So I'm excited to see what they have in the works. I'll be excited to learn that. So again, this is a surprising announcement. I think it's a good announcement, but again, it's one of those that I still need more info on. Number 8, the Tropical America's Carousel for Animal Kingdom. Normally, I would not be this excited about a carousel, but I love that it's going to have a backstory that complements the story for the land that Imagineering is working on for this part of Animal Kingdom. The carousel is meant to look hand-carved. It's supposed to blend in with the lived-in culture they're creating, and it's going to feature Disney characters from all throughout the Disney library, like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, Kevin from Up, Squirt from Finding Nemo, Timon and Pumbaa, and so on. So I love that it's not based on a single movie. I love that it's all animals, perfect for Animal Kingdom, and I love that they created a backstory for it. So I'm sold. Construction on all of Tropical Americas is set to begin this fall, with plans to open in 2027. Number 7 on my rankings is Villains Land. I know this is probably way too low for most Disney fans. I am well aware of that. But this is my list, and I personally don't get the villains obsession that a lot of Disney Parks fans have. I go to Disney World to get away from all the dark things in the world. And if I do like villains, they're more of the comical villains like Kronk and Yzma or Prince John or Gaston. But anytime we get a new land, of course, I'm here for it. And I am very impressed with the design of the coaster in the concept art. I will admit, though, it is very vague concept art. So if this coaster is realized, I'm going to be a big fan of it. The question I have with Villains Land is how long we're going to have to wait for it, because I'm confident that the Cars Land is going to be built, coming to Magic Kingdom, will be built first. So another one I need more info on, but also could very easily come up the rankings in the months to come. Number 6 is Animal Kingdom's Encanto ride. This is the first ever Encanto theme park ride. Disney has indicated that not only will you go into Casita, but it will focus on Antonio and his gift for talking to animals and his room that transforms into a rainforest. We will encounter other members of the Madrigal family, which is great, and construction begins in actually weeks and is expected to be open in 2027. There's a lot of anticipation for this attraction. I've been saying it's going to be trackless from the get-go. That seemingly has been confirmed, and there's some talk that it may be like the Mystic Manor attraction, and I certainly hope that's the case. Number 5 in my rankings is Monsters Inc. Land, coming to Hollywood Studios. This land will be set after the events of the original film. The story is humans have been invited to Monstropolis as monsters need our laughter to power their city. In addition to the land, guests will be able to visit the factory to ride on the doors in the first ever suspended coaster in a Disney park, and it looks awesome. This has been on the back burner at Imagineering for, I think, 15 years, possibly longer, and it's actually happening now. Work begins next year, but the question is where in Hollywood Studios it's going to go. If you have been on the internet recently, this is the main topic of conversation, and it's quite a controversy. I personally think the rumors that it's going to replace Muppets Courtyard is not true. I've read stories and reports that the site was considered, and I don't doubt that it was, but I don't know if it was seriously considered. And the D23 Horizon Showcase could not have made it more clear that Imagineering and the Disney brass are listening and responding to what fans want. In fact, every Disney Parks blog post about D23 ended with the promise that this is not blue sky, shovels are going into the dirt, and that they have listened to fans. Also, Disney has been relying on the Muppets quite a bit lately, so I don't think it makes sense to get rid of a Muppets attraction and one that they recently refurbed. The most obvious spot is Animation Courtyard and getting rid of the Star Wars launch bay. And they have a lot of options with that because they can go in multiple directions behind launch bay as well. So my money is on Animation Courtyard and launch bay for this Monsters Inc. land, and I am quite excited about it. Number 4 on my rankings is going to be the new Cars Land for Magic Kingdom's Frontierland. I knew about the Cars rumor. I've talked about it. I didn't want to believe it, mainly because I didn't want a replica of Radiator Springs Racers since we have Test Track just down the road at Epcot. Well, I was right. We're not getting Radiator Springs Racers. We're not even getting the Southwest or Route 66. Instead, we're getting 2 new Cars attractions set in what appears to me the Pacific Northwest Yosemite kind of setting with new snowy pine tree covered mountains, waterfalls, and off-road trails. I was not excited about this when Josh D'Amaro first announced it during D23. I thought the artwork for the attractions was way too vague and anticlimactic. Now we know why that was. They did not want to tell us then that this whole area is replacing the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island. And I know a lot of fans are upset about this. I get it. But I'm probably going to commit sacrilege here. But as someone who lives near where Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn is set, I like that Disney is giving me something I don't already have in my backyard. And honestly, I don't know anyone who has Tom Sawyer Island or the riverboat at the top of their to-do list. It's not, in my opinion, on the same level as like Carousel of Progress or the People Mover, for example. And a new Magic Kingdom mountain, because we're going to be getting a mountain, is awesome. And with waterfalls and pine trees and rock work is actually going to give us probably more atmosphere than we've ever had in this area before. So I think it's an upgrade, and I think fans will come to see that once construction gets started. But I know that's a hot take, but it's number 4 on my list for me. Number 3 is Animal Kingdom's Indiana Jones ride. This is replacing Dinosaur, and at D23, Disney confirmed this will be a completely unique Indiana Jones ride with its own unique story, where Indy has found a perfectly preserved Mayan temple with rumors of a mythical creature living inside that he and us will have to investigate. It all looks very dark, dangerous, and action-packed, and somehow still a compliment to Animal Kingdom, which is just perfect in my book. So very excited for the Indiana Jones attraction. And that's also opening in 2027. Number 2 is Infinity Defense at Avengers Campus. The King Thanos Multiverse ride finally has a name, which is Infinity Defense. The story is King Thanos stole the Avengers world-jumping technology, and Guest and the Avengers have to go stop him, and to do so, they have to travel to various MCU locations like Wakanda, Asgard, New York City, and possibly more. I have a video about some Easter eggs that may give away some additional locations, but along with some amazing concept art, Imagineering also had a display at their pavilion on the show floor of King Thanos and that design and the ride vehicle. So this has been an anticipated attraction for me since this concept was announced at the 2022 D23 Expo, and I love that we're getting to go to multiple places in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So my expectations could not be higher, and from what Disney showed at D23, they're living up to it. Lastly, my number 1 most anticipated attraction from D23 is Disneyland's Pandora. We knew this was going to be talked about at D23. What we didn't know is where this land was going to be, but now we do know that it's coming to Disney California Adventure, hopefully the backlot, and it will be the site of a new Pandora, the World of Avatar, inspired by Avatar: The Way of Water, as well as Avatar 3 and beyond. Now, I like the Avatar movies. I don't love the Avatar movies, but I do love Animal Kingdom's Pandora. It's like a national park. It's like art everywhere you look. So I'm extremely interested to see what they can do with a second land and new inspirations with this coastal oceanic spin. Also, during the panel, Josh D'Amaro and Imagineering gave some details about this land's anchor attraction, and if it lives up to the concept art, it's going to be next level. It's going to be dangerous. We're going to have multiple locations we're going to be going through. And I'm confident that this is going to be the Shanghai Pirates ride system finally having come stateside. And that alone is reason to be pumped for this and the land itself. So that's it. Those are my rankings of this year's D23 Disney Park announcements. It is mind-blowing just how much news we got and that there wasn't a single cloned attraction in the mix. There is still more D23 content on the way, especially as the dust settles on where and when certain lands and attractions and projects are going. So if you love Disney Park news and analysis, please stay tuned to this channel and consider liking and subscribing. It would truly make my day. But regardless, thank you for watching and listening, and I hope you have a magical day.